I did a whole study on this last time and watched a lot of videos and helped me really understand it. And we're talking about Daniel, the abomination of desolation. We'll get to John first, of course. This was the beginning of the last study I did. Sound familiar? How's it going, everybody? So in Daniel, we're going to cover the abomination. So I already start off talking about, like, I'm already geared up, like, oh boy, here we go. So I'm gonna go through and see what all I did last time for my research. Let's see. Combination of It's funny, but I'm just going to tell you, I'm no expert in this. I'm no expert in the Daniel abomination of desolation study. So interesting. Anyway, all right, now let me research. It did take 108 days. I don't know. I didn't really find anything on it. So you know, by all means, go do your own research with it. I'm going to wing it the best I can. And I don't have the New Living of John pulled up, so I hope we can get through this well. If not, we'll pull it up. Then there arose a question between some of John's disciples and the Jews about purifying. And they came unto John and said unto him, Rabbi, that was with thee beyond Jordan, to whom you bearest witness, behold, the same baptizeth, then all men come to him. John answered and said, a man can receive nothing except it be given him from heaven. Oh boy. Well, I thought there was free will. See, that's what I'm talking about. This is the gospel of election and predestination. Yeah, so we love that. Yes, we do. All right. Ye yourselves bear me witness that I said, I am not the Christ, but that I am sent before him. John was like the last. He's more than a prophet because he was prophesying of Jesus's actual coming, instead of the prophets of the Old Testament, just prophesying of things to come, giving the message to the lost sheep of Israel. I mean, they killed their prophets. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, that killeth the prophets, Jesus said. Anyway, he that hath the bride is the bridegroom. But the friend of the bridegroom, which standeth and heareth him, rejoice greatly because of the bridegroom's voice. This is my joy, therefore is fulfilled. The bridegroom, of course, Jesus, the bride, is the church, which we showed you the other day was Israel back in the Old Covenant, Old Testament days. Jesus said, I was a husband unto them in Jeremiah 31, 31 and 32. No, that washer. I took a little break. Let me come back here. But the bridegroom, of course, what we're talking about in Jeremiah. Let's just go to it. Jeremiah 31 through 34, the Old Covenant. And he's talking about, the first covenant, when he brought them out of Egypt, my covenant they break, although I was a husband unto them. So God has always been the bridegroom. In Israel, which is the church, has always been the bride. It's really that simple, isn't it? Okay, there it is, bridegroom's voice. This is my joy is fulfilled. This my joy, therefore, is fulfilled. He must increase, but I must decrease. He that cometh from above is above all. He that is of the earth is earthly, and speaketh of the earth. He that cometh from heaven is above all. And what he hath seen and heard, that he testifieth, and no man receiveth his testimony. He that have received his testimony have set his seal that God is true. For he whom God hath sent speaketh the words of God, for God giveth not the Spirit by measure unto him. The Father loveth the Son, and have given all things into his hand. Now, that's all figurative speech, of course, because that was God in the flesh. So let's move on over to the New Living. And I want to go through that. It is the bridegroom who marries the bride, and the bridegroom's friend is simply glad to stand with him and hear his vows. Therefore, I am filled with joy at his success. He must become greater and greater, and I must become less and less. This is John the Baptist talking. He says that, no one can receive anything unless God gives it from heaven, of course. And that all goes back to 1 Corinthians 2:14. But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness unto him, neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. No one can receive anything from God unless God gives it from heaven, or no one can receive anything unless God gives it from heaven. The same thing. The natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness unto him, neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. Equals, no one can receive anything unless God gives it from heaven. You yourselves know how plainly I told you I am not the Messiah. So this is why John is saying I must become less and less. And eventually John is killed. So he's nothing at all, and it's all Jesus. And then Jesus is killed, which then gives us the Holy Spirit. That gives us, that tears the old covenant and gives us the new covenant. It's a simple story, isn't it? He has come from above and is greater than anyone else. We are of the earth, and we speak of earthly things, but he has come from heaven and is greater than anyone else. He testifies about what he has seen and heard, but how few believe what he tells them. Well, the ones that do believe were called to it. It was given to them from heaven. Anyone who accepts his testimony can affirm that God is true. For he is sent by God. He speaks God's words, for God gives him the Spirit without limit. Yeah, because it's God, limited in a human fleshly form, but what was without sin, as man and man in his flesh is of sin. The Father loves his Son and put everything into his hands. Okay. I think that's what we got out of it when we read the King James, but it just, so much verbiage from the 15th century English that I wanted to break it down. So let's get into something I know nothing about. LOL, I'm kidding. I don't want to say I don't know anything about it. This is just very difficult. So I think what I've got here is in yellow is talking about Jesus, and then the green is talking about the Antichrist. Know therefore and understand that from the going, and remember, you went back and forth in Daniel 7, from one verse to the next. God winning, Antichrist winning, God winning, Antichrist winning, back and forth and back and forth. And I think that's what is taking place here. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and build Jerusalem unto the Messiah the Prince shall be 7 weeks. And 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall, even in troublous times. After 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself. I think that's talking about Jesus. And this is a capital prince over here. Prince is capitalized. You come down here, the Antichrist is a small prince, not capitalized. And the people of the prince or Antichrist that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. And the end thereof shall be with a flood, and unto the end of war desolations are determined. So people, so he's come and destroy the sanctuary. So this part here, comma, and unto the end, this is talking about before the abomination of desolation and the polluting of the sanctuary is World War III, in my opinion. All of this is me guessing. I'm giving you my best guesstimate. When you get into this kind of stuff, you cannot be 1,000% sure. You cannot be dogmatic about it like you are what I was previously showing you, how there's no free will. That stuff I'm sure about. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. I do believe that is 7 days. We went over that the other day. And found it to be an exact meaning of days. And I can't remember where that was. Let me go and find that for a second. Time, and half of a dividing time. That's what it was. And you go back and look up the word time, and right here it's used to mean days in Daniel 2:8. I certainly know that you would gain the time because you see the thing is gone from me. So you would gain days. The king was ready to put them to death, not years from now. Lying the corrupt words you speak before me till the time be changed. That's 1 day to the next. So let's just go to Daniel 2:8. When you look up time, and half of a dividing a time, so it's Daniel 7:25, Daniel 12:7, Revelation 12:14. So you come to Daniel 7:25. Oops, excuse me. Hang on. Let me find it for you. I was daydreaming and just a time. H 573, a time and times and the dividing of time. So it's all H 5732. H 5732, Idan, time. And it says time of duration. And then down here, B, it says a year. And then you come down and look at the Bible usages. The king answered and said, I know of certainty that you would gain a year. No. He said, because you see the thing is gone from me. He's talking about a very short amount of time, days. But if you will not make known unto me the dream, there is only one decree for you, that I prepared lying and corrupt words you speak before me, till the time be changed. That's 1 day to the next. Therefore, tell me the dream, and I will know that you can show me the interpretation thereof. Any change of times into seasons. So does God change the years and the seasons, or the days and the seasons? Well, days are much smaller that then lead to seasons, not years which are big and then back down to seasons, in my opinion. that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, the flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar set up. Is that talking about years? Or is it talking about days? Same there. This is talking about years concerning Nebuchadnezzar. So it can be days or years. Some people wonder if Nebuchadnezzar was 7 months. I always think it was 7 years by the way his body changed. This is a year right here, a season and a time. It wouldn't be a season and a day. It would be a season and a year, I would assume. And then you go back and it talks about 3.5 years, 1,260 days, 42 months. But see, Jesus had to cut those days short. And when he cut those days short, I think he went from 3.5 years to 3.5 days. I think that's what the abomination of desolation, well, excuse me, the Great Tribulation is. But that's pure speculation. I'm giving you my best efforts. Shall confirm a covenant with many for 1 week. I think that's a literal week, a literal 7 days. And in the middle of this 7-day period, he shall cause the sacrifice and oblation to cease. For the overspreading of abominations, he shall make it desolate until the consummation. That is, so this is what they're saying. It's as if the Antichrist comes up to the altar, or is standing in the temple, and is going to confirm a covenant, or the temple is built, and he's going to confirm this covenant for 7 years. So for 3.5 years, the Antichrist is going to be walking around the temple. And in the middle of this 7-year period, at the 3.5-year mark, he's going to stop everything. And instead of being a fake Jew, he will now show his true colors, that he's Antichrist. I just don't buy it. I think the Antichrist comes on the stage right after World War III. Who can make war with the beast? Has ended World War III. He has shown that he has risen from the dead. And right there is the image that speaks. So 3 days previous, he confirmed a covenant with many. I don't know if the whole world will even see that confirming of a covenant. I think that's just done behind the scenes. And then he's going to break that covenant. I don't know. That's hard to say. If he will actually come on the scene by himself without the image that speaks, create a covenant, and then 3.5 days. No, I don't know. That's tough. Anyway, let's just keep going. In the overspreading of abominations, you shall make it desolate, even to the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. In the 3rd year of Cyrus, now we go to chapter 10, the 3rd year of Cyrus, the king of Persia, a thing was revealed unto Daniel, whose name was called Belteshazzar by the Babylonians and the Medes and the Persians. And the thing was true, but the time appointed was long. So it's a long way off. This vision that Daniel saw, it's a long way off. And he understood the thing and had understanding of the vision. In those days, I, Daniel, was mourning 3 full weeks. Very upset. Okay. He ate no pleasant bread, neither came flesh nor wine in the mouth, neither did I anoint myself at all, with oils, I would imagine, till 3 whole weeks were fulfilled. All right, we'll get into the rest tomorrow. Love you very much. Ask questions anytime. That's what I'm here for.